everyone, it's Isabel. Welcome to my channel. Today I am participating in a scrap lift for the January challenge from Dottie About Flair and Scrap Squad Facebook groups. The inspiration layout that they chose is from the Hip Kit design team project. This layout is specifically created by Christina Baresh. So, I absolutely love this layout. When I was browsing Dottie About Flair's Facebook page, I came across this challenge, and as soon as I saw this layout, I automatically thought about Megaphone because she uses the rays, I guess you can call them rays, from one corner to the other in two-tone. My head automatically went to a Megaphone, and then I remembered that I have some cheer pictures of my daughter. This one specifically, it's kind of just been in the got a scrap stash. I started to compile a lot of my different themed pictures into little Ziploc bags so that I had collections whenever I thought of something. And this one was a go-to. Like, I had to go get this picture because I had the perfect picture for a Megaphone in the back. So we're going to do a cheerleader layout. I'm going to go ahead and put the inspiration piece on the top right-hand corner throughout this process so you guys can reference it. This process, what I started with was choosing to do the colors on her uniform. It's silver, white, blue, and black. Those are the colors that I'm sticking to. I chose to use a Recollections specialty paper. It has a designed texture to it. Now on one side, the texture sinks in. On the other side, it kind of stands out. Since it has that lifted texture, I'm going to use that side and use it for dimension. I do have a lot of dimension on this page, but I don't know where I'm going with it yet. I just knew that I had to get this Megaphone in the background. So I didn't freehand the Megaphone. I have a Cricut Explorer. I just created a 12x12 background base page and then just used a Megaphone cut file from Cricut Design Space. Once I did that, I just used the cut aspect to cut it in half, and then I created my own design, almost like making your own cut file. So once I did that, all I had to do was get the blue and the black page, have the Cricut cut it separately, and then reconnect it on the page. This one's simple because it only comes with like 2 pieces. I added that third piece going down the center just to give it some more character and to bring in the colors on her uniform. Now, referencing Christina's layout, it looks like she used a perfect square for her photo. I attempted to cut this photo that I had of my daughter down to a 4x4, but it wasn't working without chopping off all the pom-poms, so I ended up cutting it down to a 4x4.5. I did back it in white to offset the photo from all the papers that were going to be on the layout. And it worked beautifully, especially with all the layers behind it. Now, Christina used multiple papers to layer her photo. I'm going to do the same thing on mine. The layers won't sit exactly in the same spot, but my layers are going to be other pattern papers that have stars from my stash that coordinate with the colors that I'm using for this layout. I pulled in a blue American Crafts Juniper Stars collection sheet. It's blue with white stars on it. And then I also have a white with, it's like gray stars, but it's kind of like an off gray. If you look at it too long, it starts to look purple. But I figure with the blue tones, it will probably blend in and it wouldn't matter. I hardly use much of it, so I could barely even tell anyway. That paper is from a it's from a cardstock collection pad, but I had pulled it out when I first was buying my pads, I was pulling out the papers that I would use out of the pad, and then I just put the individual sheets in my collection. Now what I do is I keep the pad together just so that I can reference what it's from. This is the only way that I can think of to like remember what paper goes to what pad. If you know any tricks about how to coordinate and still organize these papers, please leave a comment and let me know, because I am looking for like little tricks and hacks that can help me. I have a very small craft space. My mom recently moved in with us, and I had to let go of my craft room to let her utilize that space, and I've moved all my craft supplies into my bedroom. I'm starting out. I'm like new, so I don't have a lot, but it is starting to build up, and I just need some space saver advice. But anyways, I'm not sure which pad that came from, and then I was able to pull in some black and silver glitter specialty cardstock paper that I had in my scraps. So got to use some of those. I try to pull in, like if I'm working with colors, and rather before I go in, I cut into a 12 by 12, I check my scraps to see if I have anything that I could use, just because those two are starting to pile up on me. And I don't want to be wasteful and just throw it all away. Like I know that it could be used and recycled, and I do my best. So, I also pulled in some star vellum paper, and then I pulled some blue in. The blue that I pulled in, I just bordered it off of the white border that I already have on the photo, and then that's the only paper that I distressed. Now, I distressed it just to add something to that blue paper, because all the pattern papers that I was putting behind it had some kind of specialty to it. It was glitter, it had stars. The blue paper was plain, so I distressed it and gave it its own enhanced feature. So it looks great in the end, and I really like how the layers turned out on this one. I kind of was trying to mimic a star look, and then after I got it all adhered and down on the paper, I kind of wish that I would have tried, I don't know what it would have looked like, but if I would have cut all these papers into star shapes, like really large star shapes, maybe like a 5x5 star, and then go down like every centimeter and just, I'm not centimeter, but like, you know, maybe like a quarter of an inch on each of them, and then it would just be like a star getting bigger. I thought about that after I adhered everything. I'm not going to go back and undo it because I still like how the layout turned out. Do you guys ever do that? Do you ever create a layout and then get ideas that would have possibly made it better or cuter or even look a lot different and wanted to try it, but just, you know, let's not take apart our work. Let's just create more work. How about that? As you can see, I am still fiddling with where these layers are going to be visible on the picture. This white and gray star that I'm working with, this one is the one that gave me the most problems. I think more because I had already, you know how I was saying, I was trying to do like, make it look like a star kind of look. And then because I was cutting into it so much, the paper started to curve a little bit. And I just kind of, I gave up and then just created the border, just like a square border with that one, because it wasn't working when I was trying to angle it like I angled all the other ones. But because I put the vellum behind it and the vellum is angled on the ends, it's kind of doing still what I was trying to go for, and give it that like almost star look. Okay, so now that that part is done and I have my picture on there, I get to work with the two clusters that Christina has on her layout. So I'm going to try to put my clusters in the same general area on opposite corners of the photo. And then my title is still going to go in the same general area where hers is. Now, she has a house on hers. I saw that as, I don't know if that's a sticker or a chipboard, but it's a fairly decent size. And so I was looking on my sticker sheets. I have this all fired up chipboard sticker. I thought it would work perfect to replace that house. And then I can just cluster. Now, I was thinking about clustering a bunch of stars, but I didn't want to overdo it on the stars, especially since I just did a layout with my nephew and a bunch of stars. So I do get some stars on this page, just I don't overdo it this time. But what I do get on this page are some cheer stickers from the Paper Studio, which I got from Hobby Lobby. And then I attempted to use some pom-poms from a Recollections cheer sticker kit that I have, but the pom-poms were horrible, you guys. They were so horrible, it actually gave me an idea to go run back to my Cricut and create my own pom-poms, which I do, and you'll see them come up. I used some thickers, and then I attempted to use a Park Lane flare. It stays on the layout for just a moment here and there. I shift it trying to use it. I really wanted to use it, but it didn't work out. I ended up scrapping that. And then I create a few embellishments of my own. I create the pom-poms, and then there's a cheerleader arrow that I did. I had my Cricut just write cheerleader on wide cardstock, one of my scraps, and then I cut that into an arrow and then just bordered it with some silver cardstock and then some black. Oh no, not black. It was blue. Some blue cardstock. And then I got to use the little pieces in my scraps, which was great because I didn't have to throw away too much. I used this number 1, the hand, that's from the Paper Studio, and then a couple of stars from the Paper Studio. The stars that I bring onto the paper, I had my Cricut cut out different sizes, and then I just cut them in blue and I cut them in silver, and then created my own look to them. She does some journaling on her page. I do a cheer with the year that my daughter was in cheer. I don't know the exact date this picture was taken, but I know that it was in 2015 when she was in cheer. So that's going to be my journaling. And the only reason why I didn't journal a lot on this page is because I have a picture of our whole team, and I want to do a layout with that one and do all the journaling about her year in cheer. She was only in it for about a year. At first she was scared of it, and then she loved it, and then she just was tired of it. I think she wasn't a fan of the exercising. Every time I would take her to practice, she would cry because she didn't want to stretch. So I feel her. Around this age, she was about 6 in this picture. And during this time, we were trying different sports to keep her active and to see, if she can get a passion in something. We tried soccer. She sat on the grass and sang Let It Go to the parents that were on the bleachers. So cute, you guys. And then we tried baseball. And she preferred to sit on the bench than to play in the field. And when she was in the field, again, sat on the grass and didn't care about what was going on with the ball. So we thought maybe we would try to do something indoors, and that's when we thought about cheer. And you know what? It worked out. I say a year, but I think she was in it for about a year and a half. And then she wanted to do dance, and we put her in dance, and that only lasted probably 6 weeks before she didn't want to dance anymore because she realized how much exercise is involved. So after that, we kind of just told her to take a break, and when she thought about something later on in the future, we would go ahead and get her involved. This is pretty much going to be my layout, you guys. I didn't add the splatters. I felt like there was already a lot going on. And I really like how my layout turned out without the splatters. And I don't want a chance not liking it if I add it. So we're not going to do the splatters on this layout. Christina did a fabulous job. Very inspirational. I hope that my layout has, even in the littlest form, inspired you in some way. And I look forward to sharing more. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for my subscribers. I am excited to almost hit 100. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. You all stay crafty. Bye.